we have any question from the last class?
Okay. From that last stuff, when I was trying to go through these, you said that as an data analyst, that you have three objectives or three things that you need to
Look at for.
know. Yes. And I'm looking at that outliners. I don't really understand it better. The trend, the pattern is clear, but
Okay.
that outliners or correlation is where I have.
Okay,
I don't really
outline
understand it.
or correlation. That is what
Mm.
you don't understand, right?
Okay, outline. Yes, sir. The outliner is spelled
Outlier,
O-U-T.
outlier
Because you said outliners.
is a outlier. Sorry, it was
O-U-T-L and
Outlier.
okay. Mm.
So, in data analysis, the word outlier is a data point that differs significantly from other observations. You understand that? It's a
The data point.
data point that differs significantly from other observations. So let me break it down. That's what I will try to encap in that explanation that very day. Once you have your trend is the highest performing variable, while the pattern is the pattern is just like the shape of the trend. For example, when you have three different products and you have been able to analyze to know their individual performance. So like the graph I drew that very day. So let's assume you have a graph. Let me see if I can come up with, I don't know if you are seeing my screen very well.
Yes.
Okay, so let's assume that we have a graph like this. And then we have these bars, and this bar represents different data points in this case. So you can see that the trend is this very one, this one that is taller than the rest. Now, the pattern is what is the shape, or the differences. So that is why you must understand the pattern before you can identify the outlier, which we just define now as a data point that differs significantly from other points or other observation. So you can see that, and even we have something like this. You can see that this very one is different from what? All these ones. It's obvious, right? You can see that the difference is clear between this and this. So you as a data analyst need to measure the correlation, the difference between this and this, the difference between this and this, the difference between this and this. So most time when you measure all this, you will not be able to make the right decisions. That is what we are saying, because it's about decision making. I hope you are following. It's about
Yes, sir.
decision making. So all these are like techniques that helps us to make the right decision. They are like values. They are like points that when we observe them, they have a way of informing us to advise the stakeholder correctly. So that is one thing you need to understand. Now, you just give me a minute.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so like I was saying, we've seen if, for example, here we have 500 and here we have, let's say, 50. The correlation here is where you subtract this from what? This. So you have, that is how you measure it. So by the time you remove this from this, you will notice that the gap is much. So that gap is what we are calling outlier. That gap, and
Oh,
it raises alarm in the field of analytics when the gap of you analyze 3 different or unique variables or products, and you now observe as a data analyst, which you are putting down in your report, that after your analysis, you observe, you spell out your outlier. So your outlier report will not be how one variable is different significantly, not just minor, differences, significantly from others. So when you are able to point that out to the business owner, it will not lead to so many decisions that they have to take, because that will actually raise a lot of questions. Why is that product? Why is this much difference? So all these are questions the manager is going to answer. All these are questions that, when identified, the business will be able to change their strategy. I hope you are still with me. The business
yes,
will
sir.
be able to change their ways of doing things. So that is one of the benefits of a company that analyzes data. They will be able to change their decision based on what the report is saying. So I believe with this illustration, you now understand the pattern. So the pattern can be progressive and it can also be what? Regressive. So these are the things we need to understand. So when you have a regressive pattern like this, it doesn't speak well. Every businessman, after your analysis and you give them a report that shows that from 500, they have come down to 50, they would definitely go back to the decision-making table. So which means that your work, your outcome has informed them to change their strategy so that they don't keep repeating these states. I hope that is clear.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so I know we stopped somewhere. We stopped somewhere because of the time. We could not. So I know we actually started with a general introduction to data analytics, right? Where we look at data analytics from 3 perspectives. And the first one I said it's the process of examining data sets, right? To conclude
Yes,
about the information, they contain. We also said data analytics helps organization to make informed decisions, like what I just explained to us now. We also say that data analytics involve cleaning, transforming, and modeling data to discover insight, right? And
yes,
then
sir.
we'll look at the key steps that are involved in data analytics. I know we talk about, can you still remember the key points? Can you remember anyone? So just to save our time, I know we talk about data collection, and where I explained to you how does data collection concerns you as a data analyst. I said the collection we are talking about here does not mean that you are engineering the data. It means it is your responsibility most time to gather information you want to analyze from different what sources. You should remember that.
Yes.
Okay. Now we'll also talk about data cleaning. We try to understand what are these terms mean to us as data analysts. We said data cleaning means fixing errors and inconsistencies. That is a certain variable or value in a data set that you have identified that could, make your report not reliable. So you need to what? Do away with them. You need to perfect the data. You need to restructure the data because most time data sets are given to us in an unstructured way. So it is our responsibility as data analysts to structure. That is where the word reprocessing comes from. The data set has been processed and handed over to you. But when it gets to you, there is need for you as an expert to reprocess it, to perfect it. So the whole of that process of, reprocessing, in fact, once you remove anything from the data set the way it was given to you, you have cleaned up the data. Exactly. Once you remove anything or once you add anything to the data set from the way it was given to you, that is what? Cleaning. So we also talk about data analysis rather. We talk about data analysis. I'll try to make us to understand these keywords because you cannot learn this program without you understanding these basic terms. So I said analysis means applying statistical and analytical techniques. I hope you still remember that. Applying
Yes, sir.
statistical and what? Analytical what? Techniques. Now, I'm doing this for you, but next class, you'll be the one to recap what we did. That is on Monday class. Because why I'm doing it because it has been a long holiday from was it on Monday, right? From Monday
Yes, sir.
to Saturday. And I know that because of work, you must have forgotten something. That's why I'm doing this. So everything I'm going to teach us today, you are expected to recap them for the first 5 minutes in our next meeting. So that is how I know that you are reading your notes or you are learning. So the fourth one we discussed was data visualization. Data visualization. And we said data visualization means, data visualization, I mean presenting findings in charts. Presenting findings in charts. You see, our work is never complete until you visualize your insights. You are not visualizing the raw data you are given. You are visualizing the insight. All right. And we did say that insights mean what? Drawing conclusion and recommendations. Most time, that is what you present to your stakeholder. Remember what I told us the other time, that we are like the counselor. We are like the advisors towards CEOs, to managers. So that is why you see these are the people that you work with. Whenever you find yourself working in this field, you will definitely work with CEOs, managers, any company, the departments that is involved in policy making, taking decision. They are probably the people you are going to be working with because they have to rely on your statistics to make certain what decisions. So we need to understand. That is why it's not a child play program. It's not a program you learn halfway. It's not a program you learn with on seriousness concept. No, because you see, imagine owner of a company relying on your insight. Just imagine the kind of damage you can cause if you did not do the right thing. So this is a program for serious people. This is a program for people who make decisions that transform either nation or businesses or whatever. So I don't know if we were able to discuss why data analytics. Did we discuss that in that last class?
No, I think where we stopped last was on that insight generalization.
Okay. So let's look at why data analytics quickly. Why data analytics? So most of the things I've explained has in them reasons for this, but let me just bring them out so that we can focus on them. Why data analytics? Why data analytics? Number one, informed decision making. So any organization, any individuals, any company that wants to make informed decision, they need a data analyst. And as you and I know, most organizations today want to make informed what? Decisions. Nobody wants to make decisions that will lead to investing billions of naira. And they come to realize the next 2 months that the decisions have failed. No, they want to make precise, profitable based what? Decisions. So that is one of the reasons why we are learning this, because it helps us to make informed decision. Then number two, improve data analytics, improve operational efficiency. Data analytics improve operational efficiency. So what does that mean? Is capped in one of the explanation I did when I started, that you see there are so many businesses that have used one model for too long and the model has not been working. And if you find out why have they stick to that model, you will discover because they lack a data analyst who often what analyzes their data that will have been able to identify trend, pattern, and what outliers. Now you see those three things. Once you are able to bring them out from your data and you present them and you are able to communicate them to the stakeholders, I can tell you that what there must be what policy what adjustment, either upward or downward. And that is why I told us from beginning that if you analyze data, if you like spend 100 hours on the data, at the end, if you cannot show all the trends, if you cannot show all the pattern, if you cannot show all the outlier, then you have not started. It's as good as the owner. You have not added any form of what? Technical skill to do something better than the way it was given to you. So it's just like the way some of us live our lives. You will have people that from January to December, they've never sat down to check what they have achieved. Am I correct? You have people like that. They are just working, going out, doing all manner of things. They will never sit down and say, come, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months. What is the difference between my life then and now? Nothing. They will go like that till December, then crossover service. That is when they will want God to do everything immediately. Now, the same thing to companies. You will see some of them operating. They are operating. They never sit down and consult a data analyst, because every information that is tracked, all those records that they are putting in their books, define their current status and their past what status. So the data of a company is like they are today and they are yesterday. So a data analyst will tell them where they were yesterday, where they are now, and be able to suggest or predict that because of this place, that because of this yesterday, because of this today, there are every possibility of you being this tomorrow. That is the predictive analysis that we all know today. So one of the reasons why you analyze data, because yesterday has gone and today has come. What the company are interested in is what? Tomorrow. So that tomorrow, you cannot predict it as a data expert until you have an idea of yesterday and where they are. Then you now check the correlation, the outlier, if it's profit analysis. You will now say, okay, you now check, okay, yesterday profit. Compare it to today profit. That is where the outlier comes from. Then the differences, you now weigh the pattern. The differences. Is it that it's going up? That is the pattern. Or it's going down? That's the pattern. So it's improve operational efficiency because when they are informed, they will operate as occasional demand. They will operate as what the state they are that moment. There are things they are going to change. They are going to change a lot of things. You see, sometimes when you see staff being sacked, go and verify. Every big company don't just wake up and sack staff. Before they sack staff, they must have sat down and listened to the advice of their data analyst. Some owners analyzes their data from their brain. They don't have this skill. But based on the money, they have a way of still checking something that make them to say, this staff is not producing. So people are not just sacked. And it's staff that are sacked because of underperforming, that do not know all these things, that will get angry that they are sacked. When they are supposed to be up with their game so that they will avoid it, they did not. So that is one of the reasons why we should learn data analytics. The next one is data analytics enhance customer experience. I hope you are writing them down. Data analytics enhanced customer experience. So what do I mean by this aspect? Like I said now, if you analyze your data and the data tracks customer behavior, what I can refer to here as customer behavior could be the number of products they are buying. This can be a factor that I'm using to measure their behavior. It could be the profit I'm generating from the product purchased by each of these customers. That is another factor of me measuring the behavior of that customer that can lead to a conclusion that based on the low purchasing of this person, something is not right. Maybe we are not really satisfying them very well. So we will not put some things in order to prioritize their welfare, to prioritize their experience. So when you analyze data and you are informed, you will always change your tactics. And then in doing so, you end up impressing the customer that was not initially what? Satisfied. So in that case, you have improved, you have enhanced the customer what? Experience. If a product is not selling, your analysis will tell you why that product is not selling. So that will not inform you to buy a product that the customer what likes. From there, you have increased, you have enhanced their experience. I hope you are following.
Yes, sir.
The last one, why data analysis, is what? Identifying trend and patterns. Identifying trend and pattern. Right? So now that will not take us to common tools for analyzing data. Gradually, that will not take us to the practical. Common tools for data analysis. So what do I mean by common tools? You see, actually we don't use our eyes, we don't use our hand, we don't use our legs to draw insight from data as data what? Analysts. Are you here? It's like you are living.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So we don't use our eyes, we don't use our leg. We don't use our hands to what? To analyze data. We simply deploy tools. And in those tools, there are functions in those tools that will not serve as different techniques of you identifying the trend, the pattern, the outlier, and be able to draw conclusion that you are going to write as a report. Remember, I told us from that class that storytelling is part of what you need to learn. And how do you learn storytelling? Is from the way I am teaching you. That is how you learn how to tell data story. Everything I'm explaining since is about what? Data. So I'm telling you story of data. So there are tools that we use. These tools are softwares. They are software, of which your registration covers 4 of them. So even though your registration cover 4, I'll still mention some of them that are not in your registration. And I'll tell you why we put these 4 together, because the tools are much. The tools are much. So what we did is that we look at the market demand. It's not right for you to learn a program or a tool for data analytics that when you start looking for a job, nobody is asking for anybody that analyzes data with that tool. It will make sense. So what we do is that we look at the trending, the one that has a lot of advantages. So most places where you are working, these are the ones that they require from you. But after these ones on your own, because they all have familiar things that you do there, you can begin to self-develop if you still have interest in other ones. So the common tools, number 1 is Advanced Excel. Advanced Excel. So Advanced Excel is also a software or tool or a platform recommended for data analysis. So it is like the foundation. I always tell people, most time people will just jump to learning data analytics with Python. Just imagine, they have not learned with Excel, they are learning with Python. And I can tell you that Excel is the mother of all the tools. And from my experience so far, for the years I've been training this program, I'd come to realize that people who, first of all, make sure that they are grounded on Excel application for data analysis before going to other tools, they are always better, far better than those that just jump to what? To other programs. So I hope you are getting my explanation. So that is why we
Yes.
are going to start with Advanced Excel. Then before we move to either Python or Power BI. But I'm thinking of changing the order this year. The order I used to train before is Advanced Excel, Python, Power BI, and SQL. That is the order I followed before. But I'm thinking from some findings from the students I've graduated, I discovered that most of them, once you are done with Excel, because of how simple Excel is, how user-friendly Excel is, when you now take them to Python, which is totally different from, which is a programming language, different from an application like Excel, you see them getting discouraged, particularly some of them that don't like programming. You know, there are some individuals that anything that have to do with programming, they don't like it. And because there is programming in Python, you see them getting discouraged somehow. So, and at the end, those that will be able to stay true, they will end up saying that they prefer the Python over the Excel. Why some? The fear of the unknown, that is a programming language, they have not even attempted, they've run away. Why? So now what I want to do to make sure that I secure all the students from the beginning to the end, I want to go with Excel, and the Power BI, because these two programs are written, they are apps written by the same person, Microsoft. So Power BI is just like an advanced AI of Excel. So which means that somebody coming from Excel will easily blend with Power BI and then coming back to, so that you will know that we are done with all the application. Then when you want to face programming, because of the level of interest they must have attained, such a person will not be willing to drop the program. So we'll now look at Python and then look at what? SQL. So I have mentioned how many common what? Data analytics tools. How many of them have I mentioned so far? Advanced what? Excel, and then Python, programming language, and then R. R is one of them. R is a programming language, is a data science language also, just like Python. Then we have Tableau. Tableau is a visualization program, just like, but in our own case here, we are using Power BI to replace it. Then in our own case, we are using Python to replace R. So like I told you, there are reasons why we pick Advanced Excel, Python, Power BI, and SQL. So Power BI is a visualization data analysis tool, while Excel is also a spreadsheet that has so many libraries, which means function, for analyzing less volume data. Excel does not analyze large data. So it's just for small data. You can use it to analyze. Then Python is the one that can analyze unlimited data. And then the same thing, your SQL. So SQL and Python are the core programming languages in our registration. Why Excel and Power BI, they are applications. So these ones that I mentioned, they are the most considered. And I just pointed out the limitations on Excel. Excel has a lot of limitations. So you need to understand that. A lot of limitations. When we start, you are going to see some of them. But just to mention few. Excel cannot handle, in other words, it cannot process more than a sheet of Excel, one sheet of Excel. That is like, it's like one page of Excel cannot handle more than 1,048,576 records. So which means that if a company employ you tomorrow and they give you a data set of 2 million, do you think you can choose Excel? I'm asking, if you can unmute, I respond. Do you think you will choose Excel, a record up to 2 million? You think you choose Excel to do that analysis? You are muted. You can unmute yourself. There's a place where you can unmute yourself. I hope you know that.
No, sir.
You will not choose Excel.
No, sir.
You will not choose Excel. So that is the reason why sometimes I look at some persons, they will say, because of money, I just want to learn Excel, and then I'm okay. The implication is that you are already measuring where you work. You work with small companies that have data within hundreds or thousands. Once the data run into millions, you cannot fit there again. And company data grows every day. So why will you put yourself in that tight corner? That is one of the limitations of Excel, and it's a major one. It's a major one. Then the next one is Python. Python has, in fact, the only Python has the ability, there are libraries like Pandas, like NumPy. There are so many libraries Python has that can, support loading large volume of data. And as I'm concerned, it's very fast in responding. Short code will give you maximum result. So Power BI, like I said, is a data visualization analysis tool. The same work Power BI does. That is what some persons will go and learn Tableau to do. Power BI is more powerful than Tableau because of the AI there. There are so many models for visualizing data. So as we proceed, we'll get to know the limitations of this. So that will take us to types of data analytics. Do you have any question first? Remember the topic we just added now. Why data analytics and what common tools for data analytics. These are the two topics I've covered today now. Do you have any question on them before I take the third topic? Do you have any question? If you can unmute, I respond fast. I notice there's a background noise. That is why I'm muting you.
Okay. From what you explained on common tools for analysis, the one that we're going to be looking at is advanced Excel.
Yeah.
And then Python.
Power BI
Python.
and SQL.
And what again?
SQL.
SQL. I didn't get that one.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I think that is. Now let's look at let us look at types of data analytics. Types of data analytics. Are you with me? Let's look at types of data analytics. So we actually have different types of data analytics. So at the end of the training, you will now be able to measure your strengths and know, okay, it's like I'm very good at this aspect, because there are so many types of it, but so many techniques rather, and we have few types. So every analysis falls under one of these categories that I want to explain to us. And the kind of question they project. So, right, there are four major core types of data analysis. There are four major cores type of data analysis. Number one, we have the descriptive analysis. We have the descriptive analysis. Now, what do we mean by descriptive analysis? Descriptive analysis is the kind of analysis you perform on your data that raises questions like what happened. So like the other time I drew those bars and where we identified the outlier, there will be a question, or there was a question that I asked, and the question was, what happened that this one is different, far different from others? So any form of analysis you perform that end up suggesting that question, what happened? That is descriptive analysis. It always ends at asking the question, what happened? So just to explain it better, like I said, is the analysis that poses the question, what happened? Then just to expatiate on it, is the kind of analysis, let's say, analysis or analysis of historical data to describe past value. Analyzing historical data to describe past what? Event. That kind of analysis is called what? Descriptive. You are analyzing historical data. That is a data set that has been collected after a period or within a period of time. So when you analyze that kind of data, that is why you always ask question, not what is happening, what happened, because it's past tense. So which means that the event is not a current event, it's a historical what? Event. And that is why you are asking. And there's a reason for this. Most of the analysis falls under this descriptive. Most of the analysis falls under this word, descriptive analysis. In other words, most statistics that are used to make decisions are derived from this, because it is when you ask the question, what happened, that you are seeking what? For explanation. And that explanation is for you to perform the second type of analysis for you to be able to explain it. And that second type of analysis is what we call diagnostic analysis. So remember, the first one is descriptive analysis that goes with an analysis of what? Historical data to describe the past event. And then we have example of that, just for you to understand it better. You're like your sales report, customer demography, sales report. Sales report is you reporting your sales, the sales you have made. That is past. That is historical what? Data. So that kind of where you are going to find that, okay, this is a profit that was generated. This is what happened. This is the number of quantity each of the customer purchase. All of that is descriptive analysis. So let's look at the second one, which is diagnostic analysis. So this projects a question.
Yeah.
Okay, you
The
have
second one.
the second one is diagnostic analysis. Diagnostic analysis. So, like I was saying, that poses a question. Just like I told you that the descriptive analysis will always suggest a question, what happened? Why diagnostic analysis will always suggest a question like, why did it happen? Why did it happen? So you see it now. So somebody asks before, what happened? And then this one is not asking. Now, let's say when you were asked during descriptive analysis, question like, what happened? You were able to come up with your statistics, your findings, that says, okay, customer did not purchase this product. That is the reason why that happened. And now, the second, it now means that you will not perform a detailed analysis, which is now called the diagnostic. You diagnose, that which they said it happened, for you to know why it happened. Why it happened. So it's just like if I use the medical sector, somebody will visit an hospital and complain that something happened to him or her, which could be the person is feeling headache or something. And then what would the doctor do? They will diagnose. They will use some devices, some technology to scan. That is what we know as what? Scanning. So it's equivalent to what we're talking about. So they will run scan on that person to identify why that which the person says that is wrong with him or her happened. So that is the diagnostic. So in data, as data, we have different techniques that we deploy once we have been able to identify what happened, that we diagnose the data, that will tell us what really happened that led to losses. So all these are the things that we have to ensure that we achieve. I hope you are getting it. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, just to explain further on that diagnostic analysis, just to add to it, it exploits data to identify root causes of event. Just to add to it, it exploits data It exploits data to identify root causes of the event, like I just explained now. So that would be the focus. Then example of that could be analyzing why sales drop in a region. Like I was saying before, analyzing why sales drop in a region. So let's say you do your analysis and you now discover that sales drop in a particular region. So for you to analyze why the sales drop, you see, the stakeholder want to hear all these things in your reports. And part of the why sales could drop is that one staff is not doing what he or she is supposed to do. It could be that one staff is not smart enough. And then before you see now, they will recommend the staff to be sacked. You see, as a data analyst, anywhere you find yourself working or serving, whatever it is, you always know, you only analyze your performance. You always know whether you are doing well, because once you are informed that you are not doing well, you always know that, oh, I need to do more. And as you are doing that more, you see promotion coming. You see different promotion letter coming, and then somebody will just be thinking, ah. So they give you a task to carry out in a company. At the end of the task, you analyze whether you perform well. If you did not, you change. Or you receive query. Some people, when they receive query, they get angry. You know that query is for you to adjust things. Query is for you to get better. Query is for you to change your status. They did not even sack the person. They just say query. So instead of them to analyze what is query, they will just pick offense. These are people that are not ready to change. So the same thing, that is what we are calling diagnostic. There's time for you to check. After you have been able to identify through descriptive that this thing happened, then you do a further analysis to find out why it happened. That is what you are going to put down as recommendation. After your analysis, you discover that these are some of the reasons why sales was not made in this location. Then there are many of them that could be the fault of the organization. Maybe they have told them to put infrastructure in place, or they have told them to, to reduce the price, but they refuse to listen. But when you are able to bring out this and present to them, you see them adjusting their prices. So let's look at the next one. Is the third one. I want you to recap them for me. Let me know if you are following. What are the types I've explained so far? Before we look at the third one, I have 4 of them that I want to explain before we go to Excel.
So now the descriptive analysis
And
the diagnostic analysis.
good. Now, let's look at the third one, which is predictive analysis. Predictive analysis. Predictive. Predictive what? Analysis. Now, let's also quickly identify the question that can be attributed to this type of analysis. The question here is what? What should we do? To take down the question. Descriptive, what happened? Diagnostic, why it happened. Then predictive, what should we do? This is a kind of future question, a question that will prompt you as a business owner to put things in place ahead, to be proactive, to stop certain occurrence. So just to explain further, recommend action based on analysis and prediction. Recommend actions based on analysis and prediction. Recommend actions based on analysis and prediction. So this is where you are going to recommend based on. Look at the keyword there, based on. So these are not recommendations that you will just recommend emotionally. No, it has nothing to do with emotion. You don't pity. It should be about the facts from your your analysis. So example of this, optimizing pricing or inventory level, like I just said. So once you identify what happened and why it happened, if it's about the price that is too much, then you revisit your price, bring down the price, and then so that you can make future what says. So that one that I explained, sorry, I messed it up. That one that I explained is for so you just change it. Okay, just change what I gave you was predictive, right? Just change it to prescriptive so that we just end it up with predictive. Just change it to prescriptive. Prescriptive. So everything I just said now falls under what? Prescriptive. So the last one now would have be the predictive analysis. Sorry about that. So predictive poses a question like what will happen? What will happen? What will happen? What will happen? So this, like I was explaining, this is like future, what will happen. So the company is concerned with what will happen based on the based on the descriptive, the identification of some of the causes, which is the diagnostic. Now you can predict what could happen in the future. So just to explain further under that predictive analysis, you write, predictive analysis uses statistical models to forecast future outcome. Using statistical model to forecast future outcome. Using statistical model to forecast future outcome. So example, predicting customer sales or trend. So company where they want to produce, they already know they can predict. They can predict that, okay, this customer that is buying 10 today, based on the regularity, how often the person is coming, the person probably will be able to buy 20 next year. Or when you check after some time, the increment, let's say yesterday he bought 5 and today he's buying 6. When you check the correlation of the subsequent transactions, you will not be able to know, oh, you can predict that based on the rate this person is increasing the purchase, will definitely what hit certain what target. So that brings us to the end of the type of what data analytics. So all these are foundation that are very key that anybody should not jump before the practical, because all this that we have spent these hours explaining last time and this session, if I skip them and take you to Excel, you will now see that you'll be in that Excel, you don't know what you are doing there. You will just be there without purpose because you are not wired. All this I'm training you since is a way of trying to expose you to a reasoning pattern. Now, from what I've explained, you now know, oh, anytime I'm analyzing data, I need to be goal-oriented. I need to have a target. I need to, at the end of my analysis, certain variables or questions will arise, and I should make provision for answering those questions. Because if I'm able to answer those questions either in my report or verbally to the stakeholder, that is what is going to influence their decision. That is what will make them to make informed decision that we are talking about. So any questions so far before we go to Excel now? Any question?
No, sir.
All right, so I will ask you in the next class to recap all this. So make sure you sit with your notes, and if you forget, like I said, you are free to revisit the video for proper understanding. The video are there for lifetime. So as I'm sending the link to you, you should make sure that you keep them And at the end of the class, at the end of the entire first section, that is Excel, because I'm also compiling the link and also tagging the topic in each class. So I'll forward you the file where you get day 1, day 2, day 3, and the topics that we discuss. So that will come to you at the end of each tool. So just make sure that you are following your own, the one that I'll be sending to you. All right, so now we want to start with Advanced Excel as one of the first recommended data analytics tool. The first data analytics tool or software. Now, I know the last time I spoke to you, you said you have knowledge of Excel. So I am going to test you now to know whether what you said can match what is expected. And this will inform me. So this is a way of me analyzing you now. This will,
Sorry, sir, I've been trying to mute to talk, please. I've been
okay,
trying to mute, but I've
okay,
muted. Said
okay.
something. He said at the end of the class. Is it at the end of the whole program or at the end of each class that you send the?
No, no. We are starting with Excel now, right?
Mm.
When we are done with Excel as one of the most used data analytics to all the classes that we have or that we'll be having under this Excel. Before I go into Power BI, I will send you a file that contains all the video link and the outline of the topics. But at the end of each class, I'll be sending you the video. The compiled one is the one I will send you at the end of the class. That's what I'm saying. I hope it's understood.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I sent
Thank
you the
you.
last one now.
Mm. Hold
So,
on. You said you
eh?
sent me the last. I didn't
Yes.
notice it though.
I sent you the last one. Check. Okay.
Okay.
I
So
sent you
how will I check it in my WhatsApp?
yes. Once you click on it, it will take you to my YouTube page because the video will be uploaded there. Take it to my YouTube
Okay.
page, then you watch it. Then anytime you want to watch it, you watch it. Then what that when you get to
Okay.
the YouTube page, you can subscribe so that you can get updates. Once I upload, you get a notification. Then if it's your class, you know that okay, your class video has been uploaded. So
Okay.
I think I sent you the last one. Check. But if it's not there, you let me know so that I can resend it to you because sometimes you think that I sent it. So just
Okay.
confirm. I know I will confirm myself also. So I wanted to ask, since you said you know Excel, there's a simple task that I want to give to you, and then you perform it for me. I'm using that to assess you to know what you already know in Excel and that will also help me to know the formula I will use, whether there is need for me to address some basic things because we are using advanced Excel for this program, not basic Excel, like I explained to you. But it is expected that whoever that wants to go into the advanced should be familiar with the word, the basic first. So that is why I am going to confirm some things to know if the journey of the basic has actually ended or whether just to do a kind of summary to capture the major things that you need to know before you can do well with the advanced. So let's say I have customer name. I have customer name here. Sorry. So let's say I have customer names here. Let me enter. I have Prosper. I have Jude. I have Peter. And then let's say I have a tutor, or let's say quantity. I have 5. I have 8. I have this. So if I want to add all this value together and put the answer here, can you tell me what to do? You can unmute yourself. Just make sure that you avoid the background noise.
Okay, it's a summation.
So I'll type what?
You just type equal to,
Good. Then
then there is summation up. I normally go up for the summation, or I will just do,
type it.
I will, I will just do E, is it E? No. I will just do some F, if that is F2, some
Yeah, that is
maybe F2
F.
plus, I'm
This
not
is
seeing it
F.
there.
Yes. Are you joining this class with laptop? I advise you to join with laptop. Are you joining with laptop or phone?
It's phone.
No, you have to join with laptop so that you get these things very well. Please, next class, work towards joining with laptop. You can't learn program like this joining with phone, except, in fact, it's not ideally because you see the way you are struggling to see what is on the screen. The class have to be real. What is the issue with your laptop? I thought you said you have a laptop.
I have a laptop, but the Zoom, I've not downloaded the Zoom there.
And download the Zoom now. I don't like people joining with a phone. You are not going to flow very well.
I
These are
tried
master.
downloading, I couldn't download it, but I'll try again. I tried
Please
downloading the
try
Zoom,
if you
but
have to ask anyone around you that have done it before. It's very, I don't think it's difficult. Or maybe I'll try to, how will I, during the week, do you come around DLA?
CLA. Yeah, I can make out time to come, but I don't come, Sha. But everything
Okay,
is about money.
so maybe if you are not able to get it done before uh, next Saturday, create time during the week to just call me once you get to DLA so that I can, because it's very important. It's because it will get to a point where you will have to share your screen. You have to be doing some classwork. So it's not phone you are going to use.
Okay.
So like you said, you type some and then you open bracket. So what do you do? How do you call this input into the function?
Okay, you just check the number. Now this one maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. You now
Mm.
say E
What
E4.
I have here is F, not I'm not in E.
F4
F4, good. F4,
and F4. Then you still have F5 and then F9.
So how do I indicate it? I'll pick all of them one. How will I be
Um,
able to specify the range at once?
okay, F4 to F5 or F6 at the end. Two.
So I will say F4 to what? F6, right? Like this.
Yes, sir.
Then I'll press enter. Okay, so you actually have the basic knowledge. I believe you can cope. It shows that if I ask more questions, I know there's possibility of you passing from the confidence you use in answering this one. So let's quickly go straight to where we are expected to start from as data analysts, where we are expected to start from. Now, remember that under the steps, the first one was data collection. Do you remember?
So,
First one was data collection. So which means that what we should do right now, we should go and look for data before we can think of consulting Excel as a tool to analyze it. So the first topic now we are suspended into Excel now. Since we are done with the basics, so this is not like introduction to Excel. So we are going straight. So this is an assumption that we'll understand Excel. And then while we'll be performing our analysis, somehow I'll still be using some of these basic techniques that you ought to have known. So in that case, if I discover that there is one you don't know, I will explain it. So that is how you might refresh your memory on the Excel basics if there's anyone that is yet to be fixed. Now, as a way of getting data ready for analysis, we are learning, but when we are employed, the company will give us what? The data. But now that we are learning, how do we, now that we are learning, how do we get data? Who is going to give us data? Because we must not use anyhow data to practice. We have to use company read data, data that was collected from live events, so that the data will be well structured that can influence or help us to draft reasonable analysis questions. Because once you are not able to draft quality analysis questions, then there is possibility of you not arriving at actionable insights. So, and for you to draft effective questions, you must have quality data. If I come here now and start assuming value now, let's say customer purchase 5,000, a product of 5,000, that is not a well structured. That data will not help us to really learn this. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, hope you are still here. Sorry. Please confirm if you can hear me. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Please confirm if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry. The network. Okay, so like I was saying, I think I was talking about how we can get data sets. How we can get data sets. That is the first thing we should do, which falls under data collection. So, and I was also trying to explain to us that now we are not employed, we are just learning. So we have a recommended platform where every data analyst that is learning like this should always go to get structured data, data that some persons were given to analyze in company as a project, and then after that they uploaded it in that website for learners to access, right? So the topic will now be how to download data from an open source. So that is the topic. So you can be writing your step, because this is going to be given to you as an assignment. So I have a lot of data already that I have downloaded, but I want to assume that I have no data so that we can look at the journey together. That's the first
It is
thing.
breaking. Oh. It is breaking.
Okay. Let me check.
Hello, sir. Your voice is breaking. Your voice is breaking. I can't hear you clearly.
I've changed the location of the. Is it better? Check quickly. Is it better?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So like I was saying, there is a website which is also known as an open source. Remember what I said, the topic we are dealing with right now, how to download data from an open source. How to download data from an open source. So as a data practicing or learner, how do I get working data from a place that is open? Everybody is allowed, permitted to go there and get data and use them to practice. So to do that, step number one, visit a website called www. So you can write the address www.cargo www.cargo.com. So you write down the website. So most data is one of the most used open source for getting good data to analyze. Now, but you will have to register with them free by using your email. You have to create an account before you can access the data. You want to say something? Hope you are getting me. Is the voice still breaking?
No, sir. It's not breaking, but the website you call,
Okay. www.
you said it's
Are you seeing my screen? Anyway, because you are joining with phone. If not, you will have seen that I type it there. www. Let me call it again. www.cargo. Look at where I'm navigating at. If you can see my pointer. Can you see it? Cargo. Cargo.com.
cargo.
Yes, cargo.com. That is where I'm navigating at www.cargo.com. So that will take you to
Okay.
a website. Like I said, you need to register with them with an email and then create an account. And then each time you need data, you will visit them, you log in to your account, and then be able to get data to analyze. So now, as you can see, this is the website. If you have an account with them, you just click on the sign in. If you do not have an account, you click on register. You click on register. So I will do as if I want to register so that I will show you how you can go about it from your end. So once you click on register and then you wait, it's going to prompt us a message. Sorry, the network is. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay, so and you can see my screen, right? Okay, so now I have already registered. I just want you to know the process because you will go through it as your assignment to download different data sets for me. Now, we are under register, so you will need to specify the method you want to use for the registration. Either you want to register with your Google account already programmed in the system, or you want to register with an email. but I registered with an email, so I will just click on it to ask you for your email, because a link will be sent or might be sent to that to complete the registration, and then the password. Now, it mustn't be your email password. It can be another password, but just know that any information you are providing here is what you always need to log in the next time you want to access this account to get data set. So you write this information somewhere. So once you fill this, and then you click on next, and then from next, I think that will be the last step. And then once you sign in, you will now be able. So let's assume that I'm signing in, and I am signing in with my email. So I will just click here to ask me. I've already saved my accounts before. Then I will just click on sign in. So as soon as you sign in, you are going to get welcome to your name, the name you use during that registration. You are going to get welcome to your name. So from here, what actually brought you here is just this. It's just this. So you click on this, which means that this is a platform where you can also learn what I'm training you. But we are only here to get what? Data set. So I'll click on data set. And then once I click on data set, once you click on data set, you are going to get some random exercise or some random information, trending data. These are data that are trending. In other words, data that some persons are analyzing. That is why they are tracked as what? Most trendy. We have bank data for what? Consumer something something. We have retail sales. So if the data, and you can see that what? Usability 8.8, updated what? 14 days. So these are different files. Now, if you want to say, okay, since people are analyzing this data as the top trendy data set, okay, let me go and analyze, let me go and try my analysis skill there also. You click on it. But if the particular category of data you are looking for is not here, you search it here. So these are some of the keywords I use to search for most of the data sets that I've already downloaded. So I just come here and say, okay, maybe I want to try how I can analyze medical data. I'll select healthcare. Now you will now see thousands of it. So based on that search keyword, you have about 5,456 data sets related to this word healthcare uploaded here. So you now go through them. These are all the list. So you now say, okay, maybe I want to analyze. This is from US. So I want to analyze this one. So anyone you want to analyze, you click on it. Once you click, you are going to get the documentation of it. So this is healthcare insurance expenses from probably United States of America. Now, the documentation is where, because this is a project that an analyst did and posted for you as upcoming analysts to know how it's done. So when we start writing our report, you start from saying something about your data. When you want to present your report to your stakeholder, you start by telling them your name and explaining, giving them information about the data. That is the order the people that uploaded this data you and I want to get follow. So you can see that what he or she started by talking about the data. And he said what? One, age. There is a column called age there. This ensure person's what? Age. There is a column called what? Sex there. Gender, male or female. There is a column called what? BMI, which means what? Body mass index. Because once you download that data, you will just be seeing what? BMI. You will not even know that it means what? Body mass index. So it is from here you need to get, because every data set you want to access here has a documentation. Then all these are headers. So this gives you an insight. Now, this is about the file. These are the analysis the person performed. This is about the file. That this data set contain information on the relationship between personal attributes such as age, gender, BMI, family size, smoking habits, geographic factor, and their impact on medical insurance charges. It can be used to study how these features influence insurance costs and develop predictive model for estimating healthcare expenses. So you can see how somebody is presenting. And the data set is very large, just 55.63 kilobytes. So you want to know about the column in the data set, you click here. You can see these are the analysis the person did for each of the column. So this is exactly where we are going to. This is what we want to go and learn how to come up with. These are insights. So this place is beyond just coming to get data. Why I am taking my time to break this down for you is for you to know that when you come here, you can steal from other people's concept. You can give yourself a task that, okay, I want to present. Let's assume that I'm the one they gave this assignment, this project. Look at the way the person used graph. You can see the way he used this graph. Look at the differences. This is the outlier. Now you can see it missing 0%. Mismatch 0%. Then valid, you can see it now. So these are valid analysis, and you can see the graph that he used here. If you hover on this, you see that what age 18. Between 18 to 22. They are the one that have the highest. So now, but like I said, what we are here for is that this data that this person analyzed, we want to take it and go and do our own analysis. So if I want to take the data, where do I go? You will now come down here and click on download of that data. Download. So once you click on download, it's going to tell you this person used Python to analyze this data you are seeing. This is the Python code that he used. He used Python. Now, sometimes you can come here and say, okay, you want to go and study the code. Let's say you are already in Python and we have already written our code, but you want to know how the person wrote his own code to use Python. You click here and copy the code and go to your Python environment and paste it. But what we need now is to download this data set, which is going to be zip. So I will just click here that it is only the data set that I need. So once you click on it, you will see it downloading here. So this is the data set. If by the time you click on that download, you cannot see this icon, click on these three dots and then go to your download. That is if your system could not show you this. You go to these three dots, then go to download. You see the history of all the download. This is the one you just downloaded now. Please, I want to get a response whether you are following. Are you following?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
following. Just struggling to see where your cursor is going. That's why I have to make use of the.
No, you have to look for the laptop. You have to make sure you put the laptop in order.
Okay.
What you would do now, what is the issue you are having? Is it that you are not able to find the right website to download it or what?
No. When your cursor is going around to, I'm just looking at where you're fixing, but that will not be an issue. I'm getting what you're saying.
Okay, all right. So now, so now once you are sure that you have downloaded, then you leave this environment to where you have access to your download. So every window has a default folder where download item goes to if not redirected. So which is this? So once you come back, remember how I opened this? I click on this folder explorer, this window explorer, and then it opens up my system, and then I went to what? Download. So from download, you will see the sorting, telling you that what today. So this is what we just downloaded. Now we are going to extract this file because this file is a zip file. A zip file means what is encrypted. So you need to what open it up so that you can access the file, the except file inside. So how do we do that? Now, the practice is that you create a folder somewhere where you are keeping all your raw data. So the next class, I will just ask you, show me the folder where you have downloaded at least 4 different data sets. That is what you are going to do for me. You will go there to that same website, download 4 different types of data, and keep them in a folder. So I'm going to create a folder. This is how you are supposed to practice. Then you will now say, okay, the folder is my raw data. Let's say what? My raw data. My raw data. Let's say that is the folder, my raw data. Now, after this, you will now go back to that download. There's a reason why I came to create the folder because I am going to unzip it and direct it to this folder so that when I need the file, I'll just come to the folder. So let's go back to the download again. So from the download, this is it here. So I'll click on the file, the zip file, right click on it, and then you see options like what? Extract all. You click on it. So once you click on that extract all, it will prompt you a dialog box like this. So from this dialog box, you will check the URL to know where it's going to extract into. If it's still showing you the archive, it means that it's going to extract and then the copy will still be here. But since I want to redirect the copy to that folder I created, so I'll click on browse to change the URL. Go to the desktop where I created that folder. Locate that file, locate that folder rather, which is my raw data. So you tap on it, you don't open it, you just click on it and make sure that the name is showing here. And then you click on select folder. Then you now see that what you are seeing here now is the name of that folder. So which assures you that once you click on extract, the copy will be sent over there. Do you understand that? I hope it's understood.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So once you have done that, then you now click on extract and then you watch it extracting. Now it has extracted it into that folder, and then if I want to see it, though it opened it before, I want to see it, I'll just go to that, my raw data, and then you see it here. So by the time you double click on it and open it, it will now open with a cell. It will now open with a cell. So you can see, so this is the data set. Any question? You have any?
Not yet, sir.
Okay, so if you don't have question, so this is actually the task that you are to perform as your assignment in preparation for the next class. The remaining minute I cannot use it to start a new topic. So I'm going to stop here. So what you are going to do as your assignment is to read everything we have discussed before this particular aspect. Then you download from that same website 4 different data sets in a folder. I hope that is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's take that. So which means that our next class on Monday, we will go straight to how we can, we'll go to the next topic. We'll look at how we can perfect data cleaning. That class will be more of data cleaning because we are following the procedure. Now we've just finished one, which talk about a collection of data. Now the next stage, like I explained before, is how to perfect, to fix error. So we are going to learn how to study this data and find out whether there are errors. And if we find them, we also learn techniques in Excel how to what? To clean up the data before your analysis. So these are the steps that need to be followed. I hope it's clear.
Yes, sir.
If there's no question, have a nice weekend. See you on Monday.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you.